I do think he needs to clarify, and I do think he should recuse himself, absolutely. Look, based on what we've read, and the information is not complete, I think the Attorney General should further clarify, and I do think he's going to need to recuse himself at this point.
Well, confirmation hearing, it probably would have been better. It definitely would have been better if he had just said, listen, I was a senator. I served on the Senate Armed Services Committee. It is my job to sit down with some of these ambassadors, to meet with them.
Right.
And so
that brings up the big question. Was he trying to hide that he had been contacted by the Russian ambassador twice?
The same ambassador that General Flynn.
Right. Was he trying to hide that during the confirmation hearing, or did he simply forget? Keep in mind, one of these things happened out at the Washington Harbor at this Heritage Foundation thing, where he was one of a bunch of people in politics and in government, and there were a bunch of ambassadors. On the way out, the ambassador shook his hand.
That's understandable. The other one, though, it was a one-on-one. This is what he said. Jeff Sessions said this. He said, I never met with any Russian officials to discuss issues of the campaign. I have no idea what this allegation is about. It is false.
The Attorney General of the United States lied under oath to his colleagues in the Senate and to the American people about his communications with the Russians. There are standards of professional conduct for attorneys, especially the top law enforcement officer in our country. What is the message that sends to the country, to the lawyers in the State Department, to the American Bar Association, which has standards of professional conduct, to the state of Alabama, which has standards for professional conduct for its attorneys? The fact that the Attorney General, the top cop in our country, lied under oath to the American people is grounds for him to resign. He has proved that he is unqualified and unfit to serve in that position of trust. Almost every week we discover new evidence of secret communications between senior Trump officials and the Russian agents. There are two issues here. We've been calling for weeks for him to recuse himself from the investigation into the personal, political, and financial connections between the Trump operation and the Russians, recusing himself because his connection to the Donald Trump campaign. And now we see that he himself needs an investigation for lying. It's against the law, and the top law enforcement officer should know that.